Hello everybody and welcome to Triple Cuts 4 through 6. Hopefully you've got Triple Cuts 1 through 3 down really strong and really solid by now. And we're moving into the new set that's done with the underhand grip. So this is a new grip, a new draw, and a new salute to put it away. The first underhand triple cut is a basic underhand grip, a cross cut, down cut, and a cross cut, so that we're working on rotating the blade over. You're going to notice these cuts tend to be a little closer into the body. An underhand grip is something that would be done when someone's already closing and you realize you're going to be within grappling range or pushing range, and so you're going to wind up grabbing it underhand so that you can wield the knife in a more close-in situation. So we begin with our basic underhand grip, and one of our basic underhand draws, the cut across. We step out, we present, and we cut across. Now you have to make sure you get to that pre-cut, cut, and post-cut. So it has to get out there, and you have to make sure you address that edge. Then after the cut, it turns over, and it's going to turn over and up, reinforced on the forearm, and you're going to cut down. When you get all the way finished with that, you're going to turn it over, present, and across again. And we finish with that rotation like we did in the draw. You step back to a boar salute, and you put the sword away as usual. Now, working with the underhand grip, it is really important to emphasize your addressing of the edge. Because for the most part, when we work with our underhand grip, we have a tendency to let the sword droop, or we have a tendency to turn the edge up. And we don't want either one of those. We want to keep parallel to the floor, edge onto the opponent, and that is part of what our body mechanics will help us do. If we're standing too high, too straight, too stiff, we're going to droop or we're going to turn up, or both. So we want to get in, we want to make sure we have a good step and a good lock, and we address that edge across our opponent as flat as we can, as edge at the 45, and then as flat as we can before we come back and put it all away. So let's go through that again, nice and easy, focusing on our steps, our turns, our locks, and addressing that edge and the sword so that it doesn't dip and it doesn't turn up. We begin with the cut across underhand grip. We cut across, we turn it over and up, drive it down on a 45, and then come across. Come back to your boar salute and put it away. Now, you might have noticed something in that triple cut. The smooth flowing nature of how he moved in that swaying and turning. The reason we're doing that is because you're not overdoing your cut, you're not exaggerating your pre-cut, cut, and post-cut, you're in tighter, therefore your cutting arc is a tiny bit smaller, and the locks have to be really fast and released right away. So when we're training slow and easy, the locks tend to get lost. It's okay so long as you realize the locks have to get back in there. So let's see how we can do that again, but this time adding a little heel lock while still trying to stay smooth. We begin with the underhand grip and we cut across and lock, turn it down, cut a lock, and across. You see the difference? I need you to stay focused on that as well. Salute, put away. It's very normal about this time in training to begin getting focused on speed, understanding that when you're fighting with a blade, the first person to significantly cut the other has probably won the fight. So speed is very important. However, if we get into speed with a heavy small blade without the lock, we are losing a lot of power and we're going to lose a lot of the advantages that this small blade gives us. Do not forget the locks. Great job. Now, let's move on to cut number 2. This underhand grip, you're going to draw and thrust because, again, the person is approaching you and trying to close the distance before you can use your sword. So you're going to do the underhand draw, that's a thrust, step out and lock it in. Then you're going to pull that out and immediately do a hard slice across, turn over, hard slice across, turn over to reset. Step back to your boar salute and put it down. You see we're starting to move a little faster now in our explanations. You should know to address the edge. You should know to lock in and turn. You should know your pre-cut, cut, and post-cut. You should now know that underhand grip cuts are smaller and tighter because the person's right here. So, what are we actually doing here? Let's go over it again. The first cut is an underhand thrust, and you lock it in. Step out and thrust. Freeze there. Now that you've got the thrust here, you're setting your opponent back. Okay? Either they take a belly full, or they have to move back, or both. Now, as you pull this out, you're going to withdraw and turn over immediately, presenting the butt and edge to come across. Why? Stay there. Because when you pull out without a twist, they might come with you. So when you pull out, you're going to want to have the butt there in case you have to punch. If you get in and you're just doing that stab and they're backing off, it's probably not deeply into your target. So you're going to pull it out and cut across fast. And you're going to pull it across and cut and keep this edge addressed. I know I made you hold it, Muddy. Yeah. But you're going to keep that edge addressed, and then you're going to turn it over and do that next cut. Those two cuts happen fast, and you cannot miss the post cut of either one because your opponent's going to move. If you hit them with that sword, they're going to move. Okay, 2, put it away. And that's triple cut number 5. That's the thrust across with the underhand grip. Triple cut number 6 is going to be a butt strike. So let's focus on this. Remember when we did the draw with the butt strike? Where did our feet go? Left foot. Okay? This is important. Remember this, because let me show you how this triple cut works. You're going to underhand grip. You're going to step and butt strike. And right off of there, you're going to turn it over and do a cross, across. Turn it back. Did you see that he punched with the sword and recovered his punch just like he was punching with an empty hand? It's important. Nothing has changed. Our system believes in something called universal skill sets. If you do it with an empty hand, that's how you should do it with the weapon. But you've got a nice tippy point here. Remember the butt strike. You have to protect yourself and create a path for that sword so you don't stab yourself with it when you punch. You've got to get out of the way. You've got to pull it back to the side, not down in front of you. And then from that recovery, you can do your slices. And you see the recovery sets up your slice really nicely. And then you bring it back around and you come back to your salute and you put it away as normal. So, this is the first one where we're taking a step with the other foot. You've got to get off line, just like the draw. And then it's an across, which you've already done in the previous. Let's go through it one more time. We're going to underhand draw butt strike with a nice punch. And then we're going to cut and turn and lock, and cut and turn and lock. Turn it back over. See his body moves a full 90 degrees. He turns. Turns when he cuts. Make sure you're using your hips and your body to drive that blade. Okay? And that's triple cut number 6. Let's go through all 3 triple cuts one time as a quick practice here. Again, about 50% speed.
Triple cut number 4. Across, down, across. Hut. 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 Triple cut number 5. Thrust, across, across. Hut. 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 Triple cut number 6. butt strike, across, across. Hut. Hut. Hut.
Those are triple cuts 4 through 6. You should practice these until they are very smooth and very comfortable. Then you should add them to triple cuts 1 through 3, and you should practice all 6 together until you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, smooth and strong. Get practicing. We'll see you for cuts 7, 8, and 9 soon.